Hello, hello. I hope you guys can hear me and see me okay because it's saying my internet is not great. Um, Let me know. Happy Friday. It's just listening to Beyonce, so I'm all pumped and ready to present. For the sake of time, I'm going to get started. Um, for the replay, folks, not to waste your time. So we'll let people join us. I will say, if you could do me a favor and please like the video and let me know if you can hear me and see me okay in the comments. I always say, if you're from the South, it's like, when you come into someone's house, you got to say hi. If you could just come in and like the video, whether you're watching with me now or you're on the replay. Thank you for those that are able to join me live. I so appreciate it. You never know if I'm going to be talking to myself, which I don't mind. I've done before. But it's nice to have folks here with me. Happy Friday. Okay, you can hear me. Awesome. Hi, Jasmine. Hi, John, Heather, Connie. Okay, awesome. Awesome. And D34JF ERG. Hi, Shalita. Good afternoon, Sheree, Adriana, Monica. Hello. Okay, awesome. I'm going to get us started. And I'm going to just be transparent to you guys about this. I've talked about productivity a lot. Obviously, it's like a lot of my videos are about time management, productivity. I've never specifically talked about the business side of productivity. So I'm a little bit, I guess, venturing into a new territory, a new nervous. So I hope that it's engaging enough. I have a lot of information in here. So I hope that I'm also able to keep your attention, because I know if you're like me, we don't like it too dense. So I did my best with that. And you guys can give me your honest feedback in the comments on anything you might want me to improve upon for next time as far as this category goes. Okay, actually, you guys can't see my presentation. So let me add you guys. All right. And maybe I'll make myself a circle. Maybe that would be nicer. Okay, cool. Back to the comments. Hi. All right. So this is our Productive Boss workshop. So let's get into who this is for. So most founders I have found that I've worked with are doing everything themselves. They're reacting, they're juggling, they're overworking. So I particularly made this workshop for entrepreneurs who are struggling with staying focused with all the moving parts. So trying to do it all from memory, and the back end that is basically an assortment of apps duct taped together. It's also for the entrepreneur who is struggling with knowing what to focus on each day. So you sit down and work. You sit down at your laptop or your desk to work, and you rack your brain for what you need to do each day in your business. It usually ends up in these constant brain dumps every day, or all these to-do lists. And this is also going to be for the entrepreneur, the founder, the boss who is struggling with being consistent with their content or their tasks. So you really haven't figured out a way to stay focused in your business with the constant pull of life demands and juggling so many responsibilities like so many of us are doing. So that's who this is for. You're in the right place if any of this sounds like you. So I also have my notes here that I'll be looking down at. I have my presentation here, and then I have you guys here if you're wondering what I'm looking at. Okay. So why me? So I am a neuropsychologist, and what I've noticed is that most entrepreneurs are neurospicy. And what I mean by that, either they have real ADHD or they have ADHD traits. And I noticed that many entrepreneurs struggle with focus, they struggle with planning, they struggle with organization, overwhelm, anxiety, all those sort of neurodivergent things that also make them creative, that make us have all of these great ideas, that make us motivated, but it also makes it difficult in some of these executive functioning tasks. So lucky for you guys, I am a neuropsychologist. I have a PhD in helping folks with executive functioning, things like organization, planning, being productive, coping with, these sort of neurospicy brains. So that's one thing that makes me able to talk about these things. I've also been a business owner over a decade. So I've had I've been building 6-figure businesses while juggling grad school, babies, my career as a psychologist over the years. And when I started actually my current business on Mod Ambition, I was building it initially to sell because it was initially only a product-based business. I wanted to be the next like cloth and paper. So I was building it to maybe get investors and to maybe sell it one day. And what I learned from my first business, Conscious Life Shop, where I was selling meditation cushions, and I was not organized on the back end and really flying by the seat of my pants, with learning about investors and like getting funding and all these things. You need to be really organized on the back end. So when I started this business with that intention in mind, organization and productivity really became a pillar in my business, because in my mind, I was thinking one day I just need to be able to hand this over to someone. Little did I know, starting my business in that way has helped me be more productive, even though it has evolved past those dreams into me wanting to keep it as a lifestyle business for myself. But starting in that way and having it that way has allowed me to run a full-time business on a part-time schedule while being in grad school, while raising 2 babies. Some of you guys remember back in the days I used to come on live with my babies wrapped around me, when they're newborns, before they're like moving all over the place. So I've really had a chance to do all of this because, and also now being a neuropsychologist, because on the back end, my business is organized, it is structured. I do have systems in place to help me be productive and consistent. I think that's the most number one question I get is like, how are you doing all these things and then posting every week on YouTube, sending an email in my newsletter every week? And it really is because of things I'm going to share with you guys today. So let me get into my intention. So I've mentioned this before, but the reason I do everything in my business, my mission in my business is to be a blessing for ambitious women. I have this prayer, this vision that in the work that I do, whether it's my content or my products or like working with me in my coaching, that someone will pray to God and say, thank you for bringing Tiffany into my life. She has really helped me in any type of way. So my prayer is that this session shows up as a timely blessing in your life. Maybe you are thinking like, I don't know how I can keep going with my dream with also being a mom or also being in grad school or also juggling so many other things while trying to build this dream that you have. It's my hope and my prayer that you can see by building like a structure. You don't have to give up on your dreams. You can step into who you know you want to be, how you want to show up for your business, and you haven't been able to do it maybe in that way by using some of these things, even if you take like small nuggets. I will be sharing my offer for my Notion template on how I build some of these systems. You do not have to use it. It's just how I'm going to explain things. You can totally build these things for yourself in whatever system that you use. You'll also be receiving a free, if you sign up for the workshop, an hour after this live ends, you will receive a free CEO systems audit checklist that will also help you build these things on your own if you don't want to use my template. So whatever the case may be, whether you want to take me up on my offer or not to have it done for you, I'm hoping that this can be a blessing in some way to someone using these systems. Okay, and I will get to, if I miss questions, because I have so much information, I want to make sure I get through it and I don't want to ramble. I will get to the questions at the end. So please leave me questions and then I'll just go back through and answer any questions along the way. So here's the dream of what I'm hoping this session and next week's session can do for you, because they're going to work together. So imagine logging into your laptop on Monday and your entire week, your brand, your strategy, your operations are already mapped out for you because you've built the system once and now it runs for you. You just have to sit down, plug in, and go. And sometimes I think about this and it's hard to believe that people aren't working this way. When I was thinking about like, okay, what do I want them to know that this can give them? And it was hard for me to think about the dream because it's in my mind, I'm so used to working in this way. It's hard to believe that, people are not working this way in this business, because I don't think I could be able to keep it going if I didn't work in this way. So that's my dream for you. I have worked. So I had a business, Dream Life Academy, where I was coaching ambitious women to make their dreams a reality. what happened was most of the women that came to me in that, and it wasn't designed this way, but most of the women I coached were entrepreneurs, they were founders, they were either working full-time jobs and growing something, or they were full-time entrepreneurs. Also, in my accountability group that I started this year, all of them are entrepreneurs. And even some 6-figure and 7-figure founders have, one of the main things we've worked on is being able to get organized in the back end, build their systems. And you would think, especially like the 7-figure ones, that I assume that a lot of people already have this. And what I'm realizing is a lot of us entrepreneurs, type A people, we can do a lot on push through. We can do a lot on hustle. And when they're coming to me because they're overwhelmed and burnt out, it's because hustle can only take us so far. So if that's you, I got you. Stay tuned. Hi, Jay. Oh, thank you, Alberta. Okay, I'm not going to get myself distracted, but thank you for the comments. Okay. Okay, so if you take nothing else from this workshop, structure scales what hustle can't. So if you're a hustler, if you're a push througher like myself, if you are somebody who is just determined and you are doing all the things, juggling all the roles, and hustle has gotten you so far, there's only so far it can get. And what hustle can't get you, structure is going to take you the rest. If you want to grow without breaking, you need structure and not more hustle. Okay, so some of you know I love Beyonce. So why not use a Beyonce metaphor? So most of us have seen this clip here on the left. Can you see this? Where, Beyonce's lights are not working. She's like, lights, and she's performing. Nobody fixes the lights. She's like performing almost in the dark at one point, and then she's saying, somebody's getting fired. And that became like a whole meme. Anytime something goes wrong in her concerts now, people are like, okay, somebody's getting fired. And that's really what it's like running your business without a system. So I want you to imagine that you're Beyonce or Taylor Swift for my Swifties, and you're standing on stage in front of an audience trying to deliver your best performance. But backstage, there's no one running the lights, no one cueing the music, and you're also the one who has to change the set mid-scene. Now I want you to imagine the opposite. A full crew is behind the curtain. The lights are adjusting automatically. Props appear where you need them and they're not falling out of the sky. The music fades in just the right time, and you get to focus on showing up, connecting, and delivering magic because the system is silently running on the backstage. And that's what it's like to have a system that supports you on the back end of your business. So that's what I'm hoping that these systems are going to help you build today. So also talking to my neurodivergent, impulsive, go entrepreneurs, I know how hard it is to slow down and sort of build out some of these things, get organized in some of these ways. You're feeling like, I don't have time to get organized in my business to be more productive because I have so much to do. Doing this, taking this time is going to actually allow you to slow down, to speed up. I don't want you to take the time to build all these things that I'm going to teach you all at once, but at least build the skeleton, build the framework so you can start little by little using these systems and building it out. And then like maybe in a month, you're completely using this system. And I'll talk a little bit about how to transfer to these new systems. But if you get that resistance when you're in the day-to-day, like, I don't have time to do this, I want you to remember this slide, remember this moment, and me telling you, just like pulling a bow and arrow where you have to pull back slowly and you have to focus and then you let go and the arrow goes at like lightning speed. That's the same thing we're going to do with building your systems. We're going to slow down a little bit. We're going to document some things. We're going to build some things. And I know that's hard because I myself, I am you, hate to slow down because I got to get stuff done, but it's totally worth it. Sorry, I just changed that on my iPad. Okay, so I think I've hit that home a lot. So let's move into the actual systems. So the first secret when it comes to being a productive boss is you don't need more time. You need clarity and focus. Again, this is something that if you are an entrepreneur, many entrepreneurs struggle with is focus, because we have so many good ideas. We have so many squirrels that distract us, so many things that we could be doing that we feel like we're great at. But that lack of clarity, that lack of focus is stopping you from being productive and really honing your energy, streamlining your energy like a little bullet that is laser focused at where you want to go in your business. So the problem isn't your capacity, like how much time you have to get things done, is your clarity. I know in my previous business, Conscious Life Shop, there were so many times that I said, I wish I just had more time. If I was full-time in this business, like I know other people are full-time, I know I could be doing all these great things. But what I found is that it's not about my capacity, it's about my clarity. And if I was more focused during that time and more organized, then I could have been more productive, which is what I did in this current business when I was running a full-time business, making 6 figures on a part-time schedule. So when you know exactly what matters, you stop wasting energy on what doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to be using my Rocket Launch framework to teach you an easy way to systemize your business to run on autopilot. Now, I'll be honest, I wish that I came up with a better metaphor than a rocket taking off, because I feel like so many people that teach about business systems and business use a rocket, but it really was like the only thing I could think of that made sense. So that's what we're going to use. I may change it in the future if I think of a better metaphor, but wrap your mind around your business being a rocket and it's trying to take off. And this is going to help you learn these systems and kind of this framework that I created. Okay. So my Productive Boss Notion system. I built this entire system out for you in Notion, in my Productive Boss Notion system, but it's not necessary to use this framework. So I'll be referencing how I organize it in Notion, but you can totally build this system out in any project management software. I would caution against using a paper version of this system because it's very time consuming and it's hard to scale and you have to rewrite. The reason I know this is because I used to do this. And as you grow in your business, as people come to work with you, it's really hard to share paper systems. And I want you to maybe shift your mindset from thinking that you're going to stay small enough where paper is going to work for you to what you're actually truly building, which I think is going to be grander than that. So yes, I'll be referencing how to build these systems using my Notion template, which you'll get a discount for if you sign up for the workshop. I'll send the discount, and with that other freebie I'm going to send, I'll also just give you the discount code at the end of this workshop. So stay till the end. And then, like I said, if you are signed up for the workshop, you can still sign up. It's in the description of this live. In an hour, because I want to give people time to sign up for it, I'm going to send you a systems audit checklist that you can also build this out. Let's say you don't use Notion, like you use Asana or Monday.com or whatever project management software you use. Also, not doing it in paper. I would also caution against just doing it like in Google Drive or in your the hardware on your desktop. Really using a project management software where all this can be integrated, I think is the best decision, but to each its own. Do what works best for you, because I know different strokes for different folks. Okay. Oh, I love that, Vesper. Oh, thank you, Nikki. Thanks for saying that. Hi, Heather. Okay. The first system in our Rocket Launch system is the command center. So what I have found is that clarity is underrated in the entrepreneurial world. I've worked with so many entrepreneurs that are really busy AF, but they lack any type of focus. So their busyness just ends up being in vain. So they're posting on Instagram, they're posting on TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. They're trying to do an email. They're trying to do affiliates. And I've been there. I have been one of these people. And that lack of focus, that lack of clarity, that lack of clarity in your message and who you're helping, it wastes so much time and it wastes so much energy. So the first thing I want you to create in your business is your command center. It's like the air traffic control in your business. So without it, your plane or your task and your ideas and your offers, they're all going to be flying around aimlessly. In Texas, it's like we say, it's like running around with a chicken with your head cut off. I'm from Dallas. So you're really just kind of just running around aimlessly. Like you don't have that head, you don't have that command center to keep you focused. And systemizing it is good, not only to put it all in one place for yourself. So like when you're creating content or when you're doing your goals or when you're deciding, okay, should I do this next project or not? You can go to that command center and you have it all in one place. But also when you bring on contractors to help you, when you bring on teammates to help you, you can just say, oh, here's my brand. Here's our vision. This is what we're doing here. This is what we stand for. So I want you to ask yourself, if your business is not growing how you want it to do, is it because you need to do more or do you need to be more focused? If you're overwhelmed in your business because you're trying to rocket launch without a clear destination or navigation, that might be the problem. So clarity reduces decision fatigue. Clarity is going to increase your ROI, not only on your money investments, on your time investments, and it's going to finally allow you to stop starting over every week because you're very clear. So let's talk about those three main systems in our command center that I have for you and that I think are most important. The first one is vision. So vision is going to be things like your core values, your mission, your core focus, your core audience, and your pillars. So I will pause and say, much of this command center information that I have for you, I have used the books The E-Myth Revisited and Traction by Gino Wickman. I know there's 2 traction books. So if you want to pick up those books, I think that could be very helpful, but it's also infused tenets from those books in the Notion template that I have for you. So just to give credit where credit is due. And sometimes I think we can think of like core values and our mission statement as like kind of corporate-y. I used to anyway. But they are really helpful to have even for our businesses, our small business, or however you want to think about your business, because it shapes the way that you build your business. It's one vision of being maybe an 8-figure business and bringing home, 7-figure in profit. It's going to be built very different from day one than a business that you want to bring maybe $500K in profit and bring in $1 million in revenue, those kinds of things. Or if your mission is to be a blessing to ambitious women, you're going to build that differently than maybe a business that isn't as heart-centered or that's more focused on selling it or something like that. So really, if you think it's cheesy, trust the process and just do it anyway for me. I think you're going to find it valuable. So throughout these systems, I want to use an example of Imani, a business owner. So to give an example for Imani, she wants to build a 7-figure wellness business that allows her to be fully present with her kids every afternoon. No rushing, no guilt. Her business will fuel her creativity, support her lifestyle, and empower thousands of women to feel good in their own skin. Her core values are compassion first, science-backed simplicity, progress over perfection, authenticity always. And then her core focus is we help busy women lose weight with body positivity, sustainable routines, and a system that respects their time, biology, and self-worth. For me, my mission, like I said, is to be a blessing to ambitious women. My core focus is helping women intentionally get things done so they can enjoy their dream life. Let's see here. My values are things like spirituality, honoring the God within each of us. Work-life balance is a big one for us, not only for me, but the people that work with me. So thinking about those things for yourself can be really helpful. And then once you have the vision, you want to be thinking about the strategy. Your strategy is how you will know your vision is coming to life. So you're going to define specific long-term goals for your business. You're going to have revenue and profit targets, the desired team members, your dream organization chart. Like if you could build your dream team, what would that look like? the amount of hours you want to work, what will your business look like in 10 years if you were working towards that vision, what would it look like in 3 years. So in my Notion Productivity Boss system, I have this all laid out for you. So this is the vision and strategy page. You have a place for your vision and goals, your business goals planner, and your business strategy. And this is some examples of some of the pages. And you can drop down under each of these to get an idea from the tenets of the books that I referenced on how to do these for yourself. So I don't want to spend too much time here, but the main thing I want to say is focus. Okay. Focus. Really decide on a strategy that can be as streamlined as possible and put all your energy to good work instead of dispersing your energy. Really put it together on one thing. For me, one of those things was quitting all those other platforms that I was on and focusing 100% on YouTube. Changed my life, changed my business, letting go of trying to be on affiliate marketing and Like to Know It, letting go of being on Instagram and TikTok, letting go of all those things, looking at the data and seeing what was really bringing people that were aligned with what I was doing. And that was YouTube, and it changed my life. So really focus when it comes to your strategy to getting to your vision. That will save you tons of time in and of itself. So focus on one strategy. Okay. And then the last piece of your command center is your brand compass. This is probably one of my favorite things. So when I say brand compass, I'm thinking of this triangle framework. At the center of your triangle of your brand compass is your hero. So that's your customer avatar. That's where you're going to house all your customer information of who you're serving, what are her pain points, what are her dreams, what's her life transition, all the work that you do on your customer avatar. I position my customer avatar as a queen, and I'm her hand, like her right hand, her advisor. And I really like to position like the work that I'm doing, the content that I'm doing, the products that I have, the courses that I sell, or to help her be the hero, not necessarily make me the hero. And so that really helps me focus on what she needs. So that's at the center of your brand compass, I think, if you're running a business, is who you're serving. You also want to store information here on your intellectual property. So I think I have an example. So yeah, in the Notion template, this is what it looks like for me for intellectual property. Especially I am a psychologist. I'm an infopreneur, meaning like I share information. IP is so important, but it's also important if you're a product-based business. And when I was designing my planner, my intellectual property was things like our design, our aesthetic, also obviously all the information that's in the planner that was unique to my system. So having your signature framework in one place, your signature methods, like I have my 3-7 time blocking method here, I have my COPE method here, my BBB method, all those sort of methods that you're known for and that you use to convey your thoughts to your customer, and then your unique perspective. So this is also probably like if you're an influencer, there's this influencer who I love, who she just definitely has a unique perspective, and it's so like her branding and putting it out there. She's not just like sharing style tips, but she gives it in a way, I wish I remembered her name. But it's really clear that she has thought out about her perspective. She talks about reclaiming, I would say, soft life and class for women of color. And I just love it. It's infused in everything she does. She has this unique perspective that makes her different, that makes her stand out. So this doesn't just apply to infopreneurs, but also influencers, product-based businesses, really defining like what is your intellectual property. Okay, then you're also going to have your brand voice. Me as a writer, that was my first venture into this world of content. I used to be a blogger and write about creating a sustainable hustle. So I love brand voices, also one of my favorite things. So in the Notion template, this is the copy manual that helps you really get in line. My husband's in the backyard. Yeah, you can come in. Oh, it's locked. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Let me just open the front for my husband. Okay, sorry. I'm in my living room today because our basement is getting worked on. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is what I have in our copy manual. This is so great. This has saved me. I've started using this probably about 3 years ago, a copy manual. It helps when you're trying to make content. It helps when you are doing a sales page. It helps when you have someone come on, like I had a copywriter come on and helping me with a landing page that she's building for me. And I just handed her my copy manual. So you can store things like customer voice hacking. So the way people phrase things like in your comments or in replies, so you can speak directly the way your customer speaks, taglines that you like, information on your brand voice, swipe files. So like I store here like subject lines that I like and that I maybe want to repurpose. Product positioning, brand story. Okay. And then the other thing that I store in my brand compass is my brand visuals. This also saves you just so much time. Like I am onboarding now a thumbnail designer, which is a process in itself. But what has really helped is giving him our brand visuals. So this is what it looks like in the template. You can have your brand colors, you can have your mood board, your visual identity, have some instructions to help you kind of do those things, your logo, brand assets, and then the fonts that you use, all stored in one place. And then when you need those codes also, you can just go here and grab the codes. Thanks, Alicia. Desi, it is Desi. It is Surrendering Minds Yoga Therapy. It is Desi and Nikki. Yes, I love her. She's so good, and she's not just like sharing links. She really has a brand that is distinctive, which I love. Okay, so that's our command center. That's what is going to give us like the overall, what are we doing here? How are we not wasting time? And then I think I have, this is the brand compass in the Notion template, all the things that it includes, the U-coded elements, your unique selling proposition, your taglines, things like that, customer avatar. Again, this will be in your checklist as well. All right, so moving on. Secret number 2, repeatable processes beat flying by the seat of your pants every time. So winging it is not a business strategy. Repeatable systems are what give you your time and your power back. So I think this next one is really the systems that are going to help you achieve the vision, that are going to help you move towards the things that you've decided in that command center. So disorganization isn't just inefficient, it's also expensive. It's expensive in your time and your profit. Most entrepreneurs, I find, just default to just doing it. Every time a task comes up, I'll just do it, or you'll do it your way. It's kind of like when people are training people and like, I don't know how to do it, but this is how I do it. Everybody's doing things kind of differently. But having repeatable processes give you predictable results. So I want you to decide how you want things to be done, document those things. Even if you're a solopreneur, you're not going to start by documenting everything because things might change as your business grows, but document those things that are most needy. And we're going to talk about the things that I'm suggesting, and start with those things that you're doing all the time, that you're repeating all the time, and then you can build as you go. Okay. So these next set of systems are called your engine room. So you can have your engine systems and your fuel systems. So let's talk about the engine systems first. All right, so the first one, so the way I have broken this down, let me give a shout out to who I learned this from, Ryan Dice. He's also on YouTube. He talks to more like 8-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneurs, it's still, I think, useful, but these sort of, he calls them value engines of breaking down how does a customer happen in your business? How do you attract them? How do you convert them into being a customer? How do you deliver what you promise, what you're offering to them? And then how do you innovate on that project? And so I've kind of taken these and flushed them out into my own systems, but the category ideas are from Ryan Deiss. Okay. So the attract system, here's what I have as far as my own attract gallery and what you get in the Notion template and the systems I want you to build out. You're going to have your quarterly launch plans, your content calendar, your lead magnet management, your process map of how does marketing essentially happen in your business, and what are the key performance indicators that tell you that you are on track with how you want to be marketing. Are you doing a good job based on your vision? Okay, so let me give you an example of a process map, and then we'll come back to this page so that I can kind of tell you how I do these systems in my own business. Okay, this is a really rough, really rough example of a process map that I just did very quickly because I've spent my own time on my own. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on our example, Imani. But just to give you an example, I want you to map out how do you market in your business? How do you attract customers in your business so you and people on your team have a good idea of what it is that you focus on and what's important. This is also going to help you come up with key performance indicators so you can see if watching YouTube and ads are very important. You need to be tracking the metrics on these two things, your YouTube and your ads. So for Imani, her customer watches a YouTube video, they opt into a freebie, they're added to her email list, and they get in the welcome sequence, or they click on the ad, it lands on her webinar landing page. They either opt into the free webinar and get on her email list, or they are sent retargeting ads. Okay, so that's kind of like what I mean here when I say where your process map lives. Inside here in the Notion template, you have clear instructions on how to create an actual much better one for yourself to help you and the people that are on your team have a good idea of what that process looks like. And then you can also streamline. You can look at the things. For instance, Camille, who I called her Jessica in one of my videos because I was like trying to protect her privacy. And she emailed me. She's like, I could have sworn you were talking about me, but you said Jessica in the video. She's like, you can use my name. So sweet. I'm proud to work with you. So Camille, when we worked together, one of the things that we got an idea of, okay, how was she getting customers? How was she marketing, right? And I was like, how much are coming from each, thing that you're doing to get customers? She's like, I think it's pretty even, I think it's about the same. So when we started tracking the KPIs of what was actually attracting customers, it was all for her coming from LinkedIn. And so just having a good idea. And then she doubled down on that, and her business is doing, amazing. She was already doing amazing, but she can save that time from posting on those other places that weren't really doing it for her. So for me, so when I hear people that are business owners say, I don't know what to post, how do you get content ideas? It blows my mind, because for me, with a system, using a system, there's never any thought about what I need to be posting. So for me, it all starts with a vision and strategy and those quarterly plans. And then I have quarterly launch plans. So if you've watched any of my videos recently, I've talked about my 80-20 quarterly launch process, where 80% of the time in the year or even in the quarter, I'm on my regular routines. I'm just posting, once a week. I'm doing my once a week newsletter. And then once a quarter, I'm going to do a launch. We are in one of those right now where I am showing up more. I'm emailing more. I'm going live. You're just going a little bit harder in your business, and you're serving a lot more, but you're also sharing what you have. In your business, if you are, an influencer, that might be like you're preparing for like a big sale. Maybe you do affiliate marketing, or maybe you're going to be pitching yourself to a lot of brands. And so once a quarter, you really push yourself to different brands, right? You could be pitching yourself to go on different podcasts. That might be once a quarter that you the way that you launch yourself. Like if you're an author or something like that, then you consolidate that, so you're not doing that all year, right? And when you know what those things that you're doing are each quarter, your content calendar is going to build up to that. So in my content calendar, for every piece of content I have, is it pre-launch content? Is it launch content? Or is it post-launch? Pre-launch is going to be things that are going to attract people to what the launch is. For me, I wanted people to start thinking about business productivity. So you probably noticed most of my videos lately have been on being more productive, building systems in your business. So you would want to come to this workshop. During the launch, I'm just pointing people to this workshop. So I'm still posting those sorts of things that they might be interested in. Post-launch, I'm usually doing growth stuff. So I'm posting stuff that I know my audience likes: time management, productivity, just growing, serving in a way that I know people want to hear from me, and goal getting, 12-week year, that kind of stuff for me. So my content calendar is based on my quarterly launch plans. Lead magnet management. I'm the type of entrepreneur. I have so many ideas of things that I want to offer. I'm like, oh, this could be a product. This could be an offering. And to keep myself focused whenever I have an idea, because I really believe in having one thing or one funnel at least, and not offering a million different things, I will turn it into a lead magnet and give it away in one of my videos. That way I get the satisfaction of being creative and creating that thing, but I don't have to take myself down a rabbit hole of creating a whole new product that I have to market. So I have a lot of lead magnets. So this is I had created a database long ago, but this is where they're stored in this Notion template. So you can keep the links there of the lead magnets that you have, what funnel, what tags you have them in your CRM. They're all just kind of in one place. The landing pages, also the actual asset links, and everything is organized. So like, for instance, now that I have a VA working with me, when I have her set up those flows or to find something, it's very easy to share this system. Okay, so that's attract. I need to talk faster. Convert. So in our convert, do I have an example? Okay, so this is an example for Imani. So the person, once they get in her world, they start receiving her nurtured email sequence, which sends them to her BSL. Either they watch that or not. If they do, she has them book a call to be in her weight loss program. If they don't book a call, they get the retargeting ads. If they do, they get on the sales call and enroll in the program. If they don't watch the VSL, they enter this downsell sequence to get her ebook, let's say. So that's an example of what the map could look like. And then you're going to have systems for each step in the process stored in your convert system. So under the sales here, you can store things like maybe your sales script, or if you have an offer doc, if you don't do sales calls. If you are an influencer, you might keep here your pitch template for brands, those kinds of things. If you have a product business, you would keep things like your landing page information, or you might track on the KPIs, the landing page conversions, those kinds of things. And then those selling email sequences, you can have all stored in a database with different links. You can see how they're performing. Those kinds of things can be stored there. I'm going to go a little bit faster because I'm rambling and I want to get to everything. And then we have deliver and innovate systems. This is where you will store out all the things. Instead of flying by the seat of your plans, especially if you're like a coach and you have a program, instead of doing onboarding differently every time, you have documented what the process is. What is the process map for when a client enters your world? Once they become a customer, what happens? Do they get a post-purchase flow that helps them get educated on how to use your product? Do they get an onboarding video? Do they get a one-on-one call with you? What happens, and how can that be streamlined? So if you had to hand it over, like if you were sick, somebody would know exactly how to take care of your clients. I also have a place to store your different offers and products. So in my program, my course, Systemize Your Goals, I'm constantly innovating that course in public. So you guys have seen me throughout the year add new modules, all those things. So I have one place where I am iterating on the actual content of that course. So also my planners and my templates and stuff there. So I can have a place, if I have an idea, I can put it there and it's all streamlined. Client management, testimonials and reviews, which we all know are so important. What's your process for getting a testimonial? What's your process for getting a review? And how are you tracking that process? So you just want to have that all in one place so it's not all over the place. And like when it's time to get a review or store it, you're just like looking for a random document. I know that because I've been there. Okay. So those are your engine systems. Also in the engine room are your fuel systems. So you can have your finance, and I'm not keeping up with my notes. I hope I'm saying everything that I wanted to say. Okay. And I use a profit first cash flow system. So if you haven't read the book Profit First, highly recommend it. Definitely has helped me so much. In my first business, Conscious Life Shop, I was making 6 figures, but so much of that was just going straight back into the business, and profit was like, what is profit? Who is she? In the words of Mariah. So this business has been very different. I have used Profit First since the beginning. And the way I did it, which I suggest if you're just starting off, at the beginning of this business is I always kept the amount of that month's of a month's worth of operating expenses in the operating account at all times. So even if the bills have been paid that much, I want that much in that account just for peace of mind all the time. Then when you do your bookkeeping each week, any money that was over that amount that I needed for the month, I would move to my emergency fund until I had my business emergency fund of savings, which can be 1 to 3 months. Experts suggest if your business is bigger, it may not be 3 months because that just might be overkill, but you have to decide that for yourself. Then once you have your fund set, it goes into tax savings. I put here, the IRS don't play. So you're going to plan for that. You're going to take, I was taking 30%, putting it in that account. Anything that was over was going into that tax savings account. Outside of the 30% for the tax savings, that's where you will give yourself profit. So moving stuff to your personal account. I was doing business savings account and investing. So if you invest in stocks or reinvesting in your business, all those kinds of things. So it's kind of like a flow. What's over from the operating expense flows down to an emergency fund. Once that's full, the rest of that is split between your tax savings, your profit, and your savings and investments. Hope that makes sense. Did I miss the Innovate points? No, I just didn't talk. Innovate is how you're improving upon your product. I didn't go into detail. Basically, the way that I do it, and you have a whole system for this in the Notion template and in the checklist that you're going to get, I do it in public. So most of the times that I'm innovating on a product or my offer, I'm sharing it in my quarterly launches and adding it to the program, talking about how I improved the program or, the product. But you can have a whole system, whether you maybe monthly, you want to take a look at how you want to improve your products or go back and get customer reviews. You can also send a survey quarterly. A coach that I worked with, Nikisha Wen, she suggested sending just touching base with your audience quarterly or monthly, getting ideas of what needs to be improved. I also like to go through and look at my reviews for like my templates and my planners and take those suggestions. People email me a lot and improve also on a quarterly basis. And we'll talk about workflows next time. This today is more about systems. And then team. So I have a hot take that I don't really believe in solopreneurship. I obviously know that at the beginning, a lot of the times we have to be solopreneurs, but I don't think it should be for an extended amount of time. And I don't believe that it should be like a goal of any business, especially if you're trying to scale to like, multiple 6 figures and 7 figures. That can be really hard to do on your own, like completely on your own. I believe in hiring contractors, hiring team members, because I am not every woman. It's not all in me. And I don't want it to be all in you. I want us to really, I also find, this is the psychologist part of me working with women that are like, there's a lot of mindset stuff that comes up when it comes to having a team. Either control stuff comes up, like I might as well just do it by myself because I can't teach somebody my aesthetic, or they're not going to do it like me. So lots of like control things come up, or I can't afford a team. I don't think I'll ever be able to afford a team. I can't even imagine hiring someone. Like for me, when I was a full-time psychologist before this previous year and running my business, I couldn't afford not to, because the amount of money that I'm making, my hourly rate, like Dan Martell talks about your hourly rate, to do some of the things that I was doing, it was just costing me money because my time is so expensive. Also on the side of like, before I was a full-time psychologist, and I was, in grad school and all those things, I needed that time. I couldn't do everything by myself. So instead of spending some of the money that I was making in my full-time jobs on like getting my hair done and doing my nails, I was doing that up until this year, all that stuff by myself, because I'd rather spend that money on a VA or someone to edit my videos and make so much more money from that than spending it on something I can't get money back from. So I think a lot of times when we think of like, oh, I'm just going to figure out how to always, stay in this solopreneur mode, there's a lot of mindset stuff that comes up. Also doing everything on my own. I can't ask for help. I've worked through a lot of that with people that I've worked with. That's the psychologist part of me coming out. So you want to have a system for your team. So in my team systems, I store things like our meeting calendars. I store onboarding SOPs, like how I onboard contractors to work with me. You can store like your team meeting template if you want to keep things really streamlined. If you're trying to decide what tasks to give away, this is my boss matrix. I think I call it my boss CEO matrix. I forget the name. I have so many of these things. This really is going to help you decide, okay, how much. First, you're going to do a time audit, which if you guys want, I can try to add that to the automated email that's coming out. I have a Google Sheets time audit that might be helpful. So many of us think we're spending this amount of time, a certain amount of time on our businesses, and we're spending usually way, way more. So what I have had my clients this year do is use the time audit and say any business related tasks. So even on the weekend when you're sending that email, or you are uploading that video, or you're responding to a comment, or when your kids are playing outside and you're posting something on your stories, everything I have them audit. And it's like 60 hours, 80 hours. Camille, we got her down from 60 hours to 42 hours. She's now trying to get to 35 hours. I myself did a time audit recently because my daughter is going to school to kindergarten. So I will be stopping work at 2:30 to go pick her up. So I really had to get clear on what can I give away. And this is something that I use. So you're going to think about how much something is you coded and how much impact it has on the business. You coded meaning only you can do it, or you really love to do it, or it lights you up. So the swamp is this area of like things that you just need to get rid of. It's not you coded and it's not impacting the business. For me, this was like posting on Instagram. Like literally when I looked at the numbers on my Shopify backend, Instagram was bringing in less than 1% of people to my website. Less than 1%. And that was just people to my website, not even conversions. So that was part of the swamp. The candy bowl, those are things you need to do sparingly. There's things you love to do, but they're not that impactful on the business. The example I give here is like responding to comments. Then we have the ground floor. These are things that are impactful to your business, but they're not very you coded, meaning someone else can do them. Someone can do them better than you. Someone can do them faster than you. Editing your videos, for me, thumbnail design, customer support, all things that are important, all things that if you have your rate of your hourly rate, maybe somebody else can do, or someone just can do better than you. And then we have this CEO flow zone, which is you coded, highly impactful for your business. So like showing up on your YouTube videos, writing your email newsletter. I know people outsource that, but I really like my newsletter to be in my tone of voice and to like, I'm a writer, so that's my zone. And then these visionary tasks, these are very you coded, very high impact in the business. That's all the things in your command center. Okay. So this is what your engine room looks like in the Notion template. You have all your systems here lined up for you. I'm going to go a little bit faster. Last piece of this is the Launchpad. So once you have your vision and your systems in place in your engine room, the Launchpad is the day-to-day, how are we actually getting this stuff done? So it takes us back into, I think that's all my notes. So I'm going to just take that away. This takes us back into like the productivity space and the workflows. We're going to talk about the details of these things next week, but I want to show you guys what's here in the last part of our framework. So we have your task and routines. So tasks are one-off items that need to get done, and routines are your business routines. These are like, I want to say life-changing, but I want to think of a different word because I feel like that's cliche. But once you have these, they are life-changing. Let me just keep it real. Daily business tasks, weekly tasks, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. And I use my habits and routines organizer to decide on these things. So you kind of take an audit of your business after you have all your systems in place and think about, given the way we attract, convert, and deliver and innovate, what things need to get done every day, what things need to get done every week, what things need to get out every month, quarterly, and yearly. And those are your non-negotiables. Especially this is helpful when you start to work with other team members. They also are going to have, okay, what do they need to be doing every week, every day that are not negotiables before they work on any projects. Projects are those one-off things in your business that you're not doing all the time. So like it might be like building a new website or creating a new offer. You're not doing that on a regular basis. You're things that are one-offs that have a deadline, and they should also be prioritized by which one needs to be done first, which is all laid out for you in the template. Also in my Productive Boss Notion template, this is all integrated with all your other personal tasks and personal projects. You have it all in your projects database, but in the Business Hub part of your template, it's all filtered for just your business ones, which I'll show you in just a second. So that's your Launchpad, task, routines, and projects, and then also your SOPs and your resources. So each one of these sections, you're going to have SOPs, standard operating procedures. I'm trying to think of a sexier way to say that, a more fine term for that. But this, when you document how you get these done, how does a YouTube video get done for you and your business? How does a sales page get done, a sales script, those kind of things? You're going to store all this in your Launchpad. And this is the way I organize my business. This is the Launchpad in the template. It's kind of hard to see here, but you're going to have, this is a projects part and SOPs. And then up here at the top of this Launchpad, you have all your routines, and it's a tab for each one and your business tabs. So I do want to quickly show you style. I want to show you the Notion template, and then I'll tell you how to get the free resources. So just bear with me, just for those that are interested in this, in the Notion template. All right, hopefully you can see this. So this system is not just the Business Hub. That's just one part of the system. It's actually my entire system that I have been offering, my second brain system, and then everything incorporated that I offer as far as Notion templates. I created this because so many people have been asking me, I wish this was all in one place instead of having all the templates you offer, in different pieces. This system is fully integrated. So everything talks to each other, and it uses the para method of tasks, projects, areas, resources. You also are going to get something that's been highly requested, which is my Notion 101 mini course that I just created, and it's going to come with this. If you're new to Notion, it's going to take you from newbie to pro in 60 minutes. You're going to be so comfortable. Notion is very user-friendly. You just need someone to help you get off the ground. So that's the second brain that it comes with. So you stop carrying everything in your head, stop taping your life together, and you have this all in one system. So it comes with the second brain, it comes with the business hub template, the home management template, the 12-week year template, the vision board template, and the habits and routines organizer. And again, it's all integrated together. You have your task management system, so you can capture things on the go. You have your project management, and then just quickly all the other templates that it includes. It includes your business hub template, which we just went over extensively. You can plan launches, track your KPIs, manage clients, manage content, finances, all in your business hub. Here, this is all the templates here. If you go to the landing page, you can make this bigger when you double click on it. It also includes the home management template. So the business hub template and the home management template, I don't offer anywhere else. It's only going to be here in the Notion system, the Productive Boss Notion system that I have. You also have an idea of all the templates in there. You have the 12-week year template. So if you use the 12-week year, that'll be included in there. You also have the monthly strategies in there, as well as the weekly scorecard. Also the habits and routines organizer, fully integrated. So you have one place that you decide what are all the habits that are important for each life domain, from home to cleaning to business to content, all those things. And then it helps you put those into routines. And then when you go to the business hub, they're going to show up there. When you go in the home section, they'll show up there. We have our vision board template that comes with all the Canva templates to make your vision board and put them into Notion. There's also education on how to create a Notion template. And then I don't just leave you, like I said, with this system and not knowing how to use it. So you're going to get the Notion 101 mini course if you're new to Notion, or if you just want to get like a refresh on Notion, you get that. You're also going to get step-by-step deep dive tutorials for every template, so you can do a quick start on using each one of the templates that comes with it. And then let's say you're like, but Tiffany, I already have some of your templates, or I already use Notion. How am I going to transfer these things to make it like integrated? I have a whole tutorial, a Notion migration tutorial. If you already are using Notion, how to start using this system quickly. I've tried to think of all the ways that you might need help and have given you those within the template. And you can get instant access. You can get it also for 50% off. This is everything you'll receive in the template. You'll get it for 50% off using the code. I'll give it to you now, PB50. So it stands for Productive Boss. So PB50 is the code. It's linked in the description. You'll also get that in the email that you'll get in an hour. So let me talk about that. In the email that you'll get in an hour, hold on, stop screen. Let me go back to my presentation. Share screen. Here. You'll get the discount code, which is PB50, but just in case you forget, but you'll also get the checklist, which I think, yes, okay. The CEO Systems Audit Checklist, and it'll have like all the things that I talked about that are going to help you get your business organized on the back end. You'll have a list. So if you want to create it yourself, or even if you're using my Notion template, just to say, okay, which one do I want to maybe prioritize? And how can I start using this? And then hopefully you're going to feel like, Beyonce on a good day when her team has it all together and she's just out there shining because everything is taken care of on the back end. So let me get to your questions. Also, let me tell you what we're going to do next week. So next week, we're going to talk about workflows that work. We're going to talk about the actual workflows that I recommend, how to determine those daily routines in your business, the weekly ones, the monthly ones, and quarterly ones. So routines for a scalable business, so you can use your time and even maybe run a full-time business, like I said, on a part-time schedule. So, thank you, Sheree. Glad you were able to join us. Sorry, am I over? Yes, I'm over. Excited to see you next week. So let me go up and see if I missed questions. Okay, so Desi, got that. Oh, thank you, BL Budgeting. She says, I'm clear in explaining with visuals. Yay, I'm glad to be a blessing. Loved your behind the scenes newsletters of what you had to say no to. So authentic. Hi, Kimberly. Thank you. That was, I think that newsletter I got the most replies to ever. And it was one I was cautious about sending because it was just like so raw. So I appreciate that. Heather says, makes so much sense to start with launch day, then create content toward that end. Yes, I think one of the things also is because I've been doing this so many years, I've learned from like some of the, the old school G's. So like Amy Porterfield, Jenna Kutcher talks about pre-launching a lot, like back in the day. Nobody talks about pre-launch anymore, I feel like. But that's who I learned from. I've been doing that for years and it's just worked, especially being like so busy outside of my business, using that quarterly launch system work. Also, Ashlyn Carter, she's Ashlyn Writes on YouTube, talks a lot about pre-launch. She's a copywriter, a launch copywriter, pre-launch content. So I guess that's one of the benefits of being old school. I am Desi. Thank you, Nikki. Desi Rich. Oh, wow. What a small world. Heather said she just came across Desi this morning. Okay, we talked to Tiffany about the Innovate. Annie saying thank you to Tiffany. Heather saying yes, need Notion 101. Okay. Do you have templates for study plans if upskilling? I don't have templates for study plans. I don't know another good creator on that as well. I feel like when I was in school, I was just like a reader and a test taker. I didn't really study that much. I was more like a take lots of notes in class, read the chapters, and just take the test. Yeah, sorry, I don't. Sheree's gonna run. So this template would include all 3 weeks. I don't know what you mean by 3 weeks, Heather. Can you tell me what you mean by that? It includes pretty much everything. Every template I sell, plus the ones I don't, the business hub template, the home management template. It includes the Notion 101 course, all the deep dive tutorials for each template, and then a tutorial on migrating information. You're so welcome, Annie. There's a question. I use Trello. How can I combine the two? I would suggest, honestly, not to combine the two. I would suggest building it out in Trello. Use the checklist that you're going to get in your email in about an hour. If you sign up for the workshop, it's linked below, you'll get this. And just build it out in one system, which I probably shouldn't say that as someone who sells a Notion template. But if you are already in one system and you like it, you find it's working, I wouldn't try to do it in two. Just to streamline things. If you are not liking it, you feel like you're kind of all over the place, you're also having to use like Google Docs and like piece together a lot of stuff, I would give Notion a try and just try it. In the migration tutorial with the template, I talk about how Tiago Forte teaches how to migrate to a new system and what to do. Essentially, you just start using it and you archive everything else. You find you very rarely actually go back to the archive, which is so interesting. But basically just move over your active projects, your active things that you're using, and you just start fresh and you don't delete all your other system. You put it in archives, and when you need to go search for it, you can go move it as you need it, and you just hit the ground running, and it really is pretty efficient. Kimberly said, today has been so awesome. Yay. Are the links to buy items will be in the email we're getting? Yes, it's also in the description now. And you can use the code PB50 to get 50% off. My question is, we'll be offering an additional template for next week training, or is this one good for the next call? This is the same one. I won't be talking about the template as much next week. I'll be just pretty much talking about the workflows and some other kind of frameworks that I use. But if I do mention how I use it in Notion, it's going to be this template. So same one. Sorry, that's a good question. Yes, Shayla. Sorry, I'm like dyslexic at times. Seriously. But yes, the links to buy the temps will be in the email. Archiving freed me. Yes. Awesome. I have done that before too. When I first started using the second brain, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so much stuff everywhere. How am I going to do it? And just moved it to archive and haven't looked back. Okay, guys. Oh, his new teacher. Well, good luck to your grandson, Denise. I hope he has a good year. My kiddos are starting. Well, my daughter is starting kindergarten in like a couple weeks. The week after this workshop, and I'm just not okay. I'm just not okay. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, we won't go there. I'll start crying. And I echo an early question about the 12-week year, second brain habits. Will this replace those or work with them? So it'll work with them. So if you already have the second brain, this template is going to be kind of like an upgraded version of the second brain template in that it has all the templates integrated together. What I can do next week is actually go in the template in Notion and show you guys how it works. But if you already have those things, I teach you how to migrate them to this new second brain, which has the 12-week year and the habits and routines organizers, so it can all be integrated together and they can talk to each other, which is kind of hard to explain in words without showing you. And it's very simple. It would take you like 30 minutes to an hour to do those things, to migrate it. If you already have the second brain template on those other templates of mine. And I thought I did it myself because what I created for you guys is so much prettier than what I had for myself. I'm like, I want to use the pretty one. So I migrated all my stuff to this new template. And so now all my projects, the tasks are all integrated. The habits and routines are all integrated. You also get the getting things done template integrated so they can talk to each other. So when you're capturing something during the week, like, oh, I got to remember to post something on my community tab. Let's just say that's something you want to do. And you put it in you're on the go and you put it in your task, your quick add in your second brain. That's going to filter to your business page. So when you go in your business hub and you want to just see your business task, it'll all be there. Same thing with your home stuff. Like if you just tag it home and you're on the weekend, you want to see what needs to get done for the house, it'll all be kind of there. Also, like the zone cleaning, the weekly home blessing, all those habits are integrated in the habits and routines organized. So you have one integrated life because we're one person. And I'll show you. I think I'm making it sound more complicated than it is. It actually makes things easier. So thank you, Heather. I'll show that next week. Yay. I'm glad you're going to get on late to the call, but how's it fit with Systemize Your Goals? Just purchased this last week. Hi, Dawn. So Systemize Your Goals is my course Dawn is talking about. This is just a tool. Systemize Your Goals teaches you how to actually implement the systems into your life. The only thing I don't have in the Systemize Your Goals is this business organization tech framework that I'm teaching you because I'm working on that. That's actually, I'll just tell you guys something I'll be adding to the course next month. But I'm pretty much giving a lot of it away here. We'll just dive deeper into not going beyond just creating the tools in your project management software, creating the systems, but how to actually use them in the course. So Systemize Your Goals teaches you all my systems. It teaches you my task management system, my time management systems, how to get clear on your goals, also like productivity systems, all the things. So they work together. Thank you, Connie. See you later. Definitely need the Notion 101. Yes, it has 6 lessons in there. They're designed to be easy to digest. It comes with like examples and ways for you to practice. So, okay. I am going to, thank you. BL Budgeting says Systemize Your Goals is fantastic. Thank you so much for saying that. I'm going to end because we're over time and I want to add the time audit to that template, to that email you guys are going to get that's automated. So I want to add that before it goes out, just in case you want to do a time audit. It's completely free. And I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate you. And I hope you have a great weekend. Namaste. Thank you, Vesper.